Hey and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we'll look at the SGO Power 12 volt 125 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. Let's get started. Hey and welcome back. Thanks for watching again, and in this video we'll look at this SGO Power battery, and I'm very excited about this. By the way, model SG12 125P. Why I'm excited? Because this is 125 amp hour and they say it's a group 27 housing. Those are the dimensions. It's bigger than the group 24 obviously. But instead of wasting this extra space, they actually use it with another cylinder, or at least more power for you as a customer. This is a current price they're selling it off Amazon, I believe. And this battery, as always, our reviews, this battery, we'll look at it in more detail. What are the features of it? Then what's in the box, or the other way around actually. Then we'll do a capacity test, and then we will take it apart and do some more testing. So let's get started with what's in the box. In the box, this battery, it does come with those protector caps up here. It does come with them 8 bolts. Do you know what it comes with as well? With a manual, and that manual is actually 2-language manual, as well as it tells you the package list, or the packing list in this case, and yes, the battery is in it. Surprise. And they send also a quality certificate and a stamp on it. That's it. Let me tell you one thing, what I came across from the beginning. What I was surprised from the beginning. They actually put Loctite on the bolts, which I have never seen, because they also have a lock washer in this entire bolt, a washer and a lock washer. So why putting Loctite in it? I would not do that, but that's what they came with, so you can certainly replace them in case you feel uncertain. Because when you put them in, they put a lot of stress while torquing them or screwing them down on those glued epoxy terminals. So that's why I'm a little bit worried. Just, screwing them in and out too many times, and it might maybe damage something. It didn't. So far it didn't work well, but I would not put Loctite on it in my opinion. But they did. Anyways, not a big deal. You could replace it if you want to. I would not. Yeah, the protector caps, I said, it does have those handles, as we've seen a lot in the Group 24 setup. And one thing I didn't say so far, but now, by the way, we are in the feature section. It does come with a power on and off, so it means at the moment it's completely deactivated. No Bluetooth on. And when I turn it on, we also have Bluetooth functionality, and the terminals are activated. So now there is actually power going to the terminals. Let's talk about the features of this battery. And this is the feature page, or the parameter page, what they provide in the manual. And I hope you can see that and read it. I checked it online. As always, I realized that a lot of those batteries, they vary in what they show online and what actually the product manual shows. So here we talk about the 125 amp hour model, energy 1600 watt hours. So maximum continuous discharge and charge is 100 amp. A max discharge current up to 10 seconds is 200 amp. That's very impressive. And the max continuous discharge power is 1280. The dimensions are not correct back here. I measured it. Those are the dimensions actually. So I don't know how that happened. Here we have the cell type, nominal voltage, etc. All those kind of nice things. Charging voltage, very important. And that's pretty much about the parameters. I found as well, that's not all the parameters obviously, but I found as well this advertising online: low temperature cutoff protection, overcharge and discharger protection. And then they have a 20 watt cell balancer. Ooh, balancer inside, okay. Then they have a low and high voltage cutoff, as well as short circuit protection and a high temperature protection. So high and low temperature we'll test. The overcharge and discharge, probably not, and also the 10 to 200 amps we might not test this time as well. Still working on my setup to get that better for going forward for other battery reviews. Pretty cool about this battery as well. Up to 4 serial and 8 parallel connections possible with this battery. So that's what they advertise it with. Talked about the price already. So that's all we have about this battery. I told you I'm super excited. They not only, you remember when I was complaining about the Group 24 batteries, sorry, not the Group 24, was about the Group 27 or 31. And they were always having those high density foams on the back, on the sides, and it was, the cells were smaller the entire package was smaller, but they had the standard housing. Now we have the Group 24, and it is getting to a more tighter fit. Even they could even do it smaller, or have all the self-heating function. Who knows? That would be amazing. Anyways, still talking about the SGO Power battery here. I'm excited to see the 125 amp hour, if it's prismatic cells or cylindric cells, how that looks like inside. So now we'll do the capacity test, and then when we're back, we'll continue taking it apart. All right, here we are with the capacity test. So I just charged up the battery one more time, and here you can see that we have the SGO Power 125 amp hour battery. And for this test, for this capacity test, we need to aim for a 25 amp, which is equals to 0.2 C discharge rate. So we'll try to get that. Let me reset, and here we are, and let's get started with the capacity test. All right, that looks pretty good. We are a little bit above the 0.2 C rate, which is 25 amp. So I'll let it run, and we will be back as soon as we have results in and see how much we can pull out of this battery. All right, so sadly, we only made it to 122 amp hours instead of 125, which the battery is advertised with. So I have a picture here, also, which showcases the Bluetooth app, just to get an understanding. It is at 0% accordingly to the app, and it really, you can see it tries hard. Let me get this really connected so we can maybe quickly. Let me get the power source really quick connected, so we have a little backup. All right, I just connected power supply. I'll stop, so there's nothing pulling anything anymore. But 122, so you can see it here. Yeah, according to the app, we're at 0%. Full capacity is 125. It's interesting. We sadly were not able to pull the full capacity here, so that's a big bummer. I actually would like to repeat this test because I'm not sure why that is, but to be fair, everyone gets the same chance. So 122, it failed the capacity test. So this is take number 2, this is test number 2. Just charge it all the way full up. And now I will disconnect the chargers, and we'll give it another try and see if we can actually pull the full 125 amp out of this batteries. All right, let me start the inverter and see where we're going with this. While it's ramping up, here you see the battery back there. So it is actually still the SGO Power battery. So I'm not lying. Okay, so we're getting into a swing. It's more than 25 amps, a little bit more than the 0.2 C, but we'll just let it run, and then we'll see how far we can get with this. All right, even a second test, you see 123 amp hour we were able to pull out of the battery, not 125, unfortunately. Bummer. The battery did not pass the 125 amp hour capacity test as it is advertised, sadly. Huge bummer, seriously. I wish that would have been, then rather advertised at 120 amp hour. Regardless, it has more power than the 100 amp hour, but it also has, at the moment, I believe, a little higher price. So actually no. I think it doesn't have the higher price when you activate a voucher. Then this battery is very competitive and has even more power. Even not 125, even just the 122 or 123, still would have more power for a similar price. Well, it's up to you. But let's see what's inside. So we'll continue with taking it apart. Got it open, so here we are. Hope you can see it. So that's what we're dealing with. So we do have, just want to highlight that really quick and also show it to you. So back here we have 2 7-gauge wires for the positive terminal. We also have 2 7-gauge wires to the negative. We can see it's not hydraulically crimped, or at least That's a nice crimp actually. It's the butterfly, but it's not as widespread, so it feels good actually. It has this marking for maybe the torqued down, it looks like. We do have the button here, positive wire going over here. We have a switch on off over here, which we can disconnect. Pretty cool, but it also, it's a potential, you know, failure point. We can see the negative terminal goes to the BMS over here. The BMS seems to be, at least I don't see any brand name on it. Looks different, doesn't have the heatsink on top at all. Maybe it has it underneath, I don't see that. We have 4 cells in here laying. We have, oh, on this side, that's sad to see. We have those, yeah, we have this wire over here. I just talked about it. We have this high density foams, just spacers over here, I guess. We have, I didn't say it yet, but they have just some spray foam over here. That's just spray foam, which is hardened on both sides actually. So that housing is even also bigger than expected. We have a not branded, at least you don't see a brand, BMS over here. Doesn't have a heatsink on top. Maybe underneath, I don't see it right now. We can see the main negative wires from the battery are soldered on here to the BMS. Something which I always not a big fan of, but it is here in this case. They have 7-gauge wires going to the main terminal, of the, going to the main negative of the battery itself. Same with the positive over here. When they have those locks on, they look really good. They look good crimp, to be honest. Even though it's not a hydraulic crimp, they look great. We have a cable mess over here. I mean, it's, you know, it's, you don't see it. That's why you don't have to make it nice. Still, when you look at it, we have some zip ties here. It's holding everything else in place. We have labeled ground. We have actually a couple of labels over here, which is cool to see. For the switch at least, that's where they go. Go to the BMS. I can see there was somewhere a temperature sensor, which is also within the spray foam. So I have to see if I can get it out. I don't know how tight it is in there. I just tried a quick thing, so let me try to get it out. All right, so I'm not able to get it out. There's high density foam pads underneath on the sides. Then there's this spray foam on the side. What I was able to get out is actually this BMS, which I've never been able to. I can see they have Loctite, blue Loctite here, where they use bolts. That's at least nice to see. I can see that the temperature sensor is actually mounted and screwed in with one of the positive terminals in here. It's hard to see for you, I'm pretty sure. So, but it's right there. This is temperature sensor. It says T1, so everything is labeled. That's nice. It's just that this entire thing is a little mess. Quite interesting to see that they just use those stick pads or stick studs basically for holding the entire BMS in. It did hold in. I had to, pinch them and try to get it out, and then they have epoxy board underneath. It doesn't have a heatsink at all, so I would be surprised. I'm surprised, and I have no idea if it will hold to the heat and everything else, how that will work out. But you can then just pop it in place again, ding. And now it will not move anymore. So it's quite interesting that it works. Why not? I mean, they're glued in, so that's the only thing which I usually not a fan of, but it still works. By the way, if I've not said it, I believe this is a Japanese battery. It's made in Japan. So far, I don't know. I don't know anything about the cells. It's hard to get out for me. I can see that they have at least, what I can see from here, they have the terminals. The bus bars are laser welded. They're flat mounted. So here you can see, this is the main negative bus bar. It's laser welded, same with the positive. And then there are those bolts which bolt in, and they seem to be good. I do see some marking on them, so I guess they also torque down them. I see on this other bus bar connecting cell 2 and 3, there's no hump or anything. I also see that they have this corner protection for the entire battery pack, and I can see that there's also a metal wrap around the entire cell to avoid any expanding. So that's what I can see. I don't see cells. The valves, the breather valves, are completely covered. So at least from what I can see here, that would be not good and not pretty cool in my opinion. That's a big downside. What I also, when I look at it, I think it's hard to like is those solder joints over here. When you look here, that's not the best, to be honest. And I don't understand why they use those ones instead of most likely those ones. No idea. Anyways, but the switch, which is this one, connects over here. There's a clue, whatever, up there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me try if I can heat this one up and set up the charge and everything. I do not know. I will need to use most likely cold spray. I can't really reach there with a ice pack or something like that. So let me set it up and then we'll do the testing. I did set up the charger, so now you can see it is charging. There is a green light over here. I don't know if you see that, but let me turn it on and off. Then you can see turning it off. I can see it's not charging anymore. And now let me turn it back on. And now you can see it charging. Or at least it should come back. There we go. And alright, nope, that's the wrong app. And then there is an app for this one, which is Power Bank, I believe. Here you click on Bluetooth search, and for me it is this one, a second, I believe. Let's see, yep, there it is. So, nice. So in the app you can see, of course, the voltage. You can see the state of charge, 24.1%. You can see it's charging with 10.2. Here it says 10.3, possible. Full capacity 125. And that's pretty much it. There's a memory usage and CPU usage, I believe that's the BMS. Quite interesting to see that. I did not know about it. Then we have status. Okay, we will see protection alarm status. We'll look at that later. And then, yeah, of course, the name, which we can change here. So let's just continue. I would say, because it's just easier to get through, I'll use the cold spray first. And therefore, I will actually use this more targeted one. So you see charging over here when it stops, you know. Might need more. There we go. Oh, there it is. Just triggered. Nice to see. So it does actually have a low temp charging cutoff. More time. And it stops. And when I look at status, charging UT service severe alarm. Under temperature. Nice. Looks good. And when I look here again, refresh, nothing, and it should come back pretty soon, hopefully. And it's coming back. Update, nothing anymore, and it's charging. All right, good. Let's try to see if we can get some high temp cutoff. Just worried I don't want to melt anything in here, so let's see how far we can get. Without melting anything. You can still see charging over here, right? Alright, so we'll give it one more try with the heat gun to see if we can trigger it. It's hard to reach right in there, so I hope this time I do a better job. We are at 122 Fahrenheit, by the way. It doesn't look like it's triggering, sadly. As mentioned, it's hard to reach, and I started to smoke first, so I stopped. But that's sad, man. Oh, there it is. There it is. I think I did get better at aiming, so high temp cutoff also works, it looks like. Let's see if it comes back. And if it does, it's a good point. There it is. Nice. Charging again. Awesome. All right. So I think we are done with the test I can do. As I mentioned, I don't have a high current test at the moment set up for, so I need to do that. And this one is advertised 200 amp for up to 10 seconds, which is great. So especially when you have a high load, which needs to get started. That might be it, but sorry, I cannot test it yet. But still building it. I hope I get there pretty soon, that I'm done. So let me know in the comment section below what do you think about the build quality. Let me know about this cable mass, what do you think about it. It does have, as I mentioned, this power on off, which is, in my opinion, a great feature. I do like that, actually. And it does have an app, so I mean, that's something which is actually pretty neat. All right, I think I can wrap it up. We did a high temp and the low temp charge cutoff, and it does work great. What do you think about the build quality with the spray foam over here? I'm curious what you say. And there's space right and left. I think why having a Group 27 and Group 24, why not having something in between? Probably not a standard, probably more expensive. I don't know. I would love to have those answers. I'm wondering if this BMS can hold up without a heatsink to everything what it would be exposed to. And that's just, will show us the long-term test, but a 125 amp hour in such a housing, that's nice to see. Less, they use more space, but it's definitely better. You could even put more in this same Group 27 housing. I'm curious if when they will start having that, especially having 200 amp hour in the same size housing. I think that's possible. I think that's totally possible. Having so much space as well, I feel like self-heating would be a great addition as well. Well, I'm dreaming. Sorry. Coming back to the SGO Power Battery, I think it's quite interesting to see how it's built, and let me know what you think in terms of price and value, what you get, and especially those power on, power off switches. Is that something you would need? So yeah, I'm looking forward to your answers or your comments below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you like that stuff. More to come. Thanks for watching.